Okay, this one's for everybody who's listening to my voice right now. We really need to get on to this redistricting effort, the counter to it. The Democrats are stuck in a position where we have to kind of go against what we think is morally correct. In this instance, you have to shift your morals. It's going to sound weird, but the game is rigged. Allowing the game to just be rigged and then you play by the rules, you're screwed. Like if we're supposed to be playing a soccer match, the Democrats versus the Republicans, and that's all, feet, only using your feet, except for the headers and the knees and all that stuff. The only goalie is allowed to put their hands on the ball, aside from throw-ins and stuff like that. But if the Republicans just pick up the ball and then just run it into the net, you're gonna lose. If they can just cheat and you don't go along with the changes, okay, it's a different game, we're gonna play it that way, we're gonna lose. And this is war. We are fighting fascists. Fascism is a death cult. They have very ugly plans, so ugly that they part of the problem that we're facing right now is if we try to inform people that haven't really been paying attention close enough, and they haven't progressively gotten to a point where they understand the problem, and you tell them about what they're trying to do, it's going to sound like you're kind of like a conspiracy brained lunatic that's overreacting or something. But the problem is, the truth is really startling and really scary and has historical comparisons. I would argue we are facing something that is far worse than any historical comparable set of circumstances in terms of the modern technology for surveillance and weaponry and information gathering. There's a reason why they stole all of our information and consolidated it when Doge went and did all their stuff in the government that was fully illegal and unconstitutional. And unfortunately, the Supreme Court has kind of gone along with a lot of this stuff. If we ever get power again, there's going to be, there really should be a lot of people that face consequences on RICO charges, on a conspiracy to do mass human atrocities. And these people were dumb enough to leave a trail at times. Sometimes they try to cover it up, with the Signalgate thing, the whole use of that app, we found out around that time that people in the cabinet were using Signal because it's supposed to be fairly secure, but it also you can set it up so it just deletes messages, which is a violation of Federal Records Act. Anyway, the Republicans, as much as they crow about the rules, they use the rules to restrain Democrats, and Democrats for far too long have, I guess, tried to manage optics, and maybe thought they would look bad and they want to set an example, so they just played by the rules. But it's also, in a way, it's a death by 1,000 paper cuts, because if in the process of doing that, you keep giving Republicans more and more power and you don't hold them to account, so now the rules only really work for one side. So that's kind of what we're facing right now with this redistricting battle. We have the moral argument. We can just fall back on the fact that Democrats put forward a bill or legislation to end gerrymandering, partisan gerrymandering, and in favor of independent districting or redistricting. Democrats overwhelmingly voted for that. Republicans voted against it. So the Republicans set the rules, which are really sketchy at best. And why do Republicans have to do that? Because they're tremendously unpopular. Anytime that they actually, it seems to be somewhat rare, aside from maybe Trump in some cases, but generally, when Republicans are exposed for what they actually want to do, for example, Project 2025, when people, the big document leaked, when that got out there and people started talking about it, everyone hated it. Everyone was terrified across the aisle. They're like, no, that's crazy. But if Republicans had to run on that stuff, they wouldn't win. Republicans have to basically rig things in order for them to win. And this one is really, I hate to oversell this, but I don't think I am. We need to get what power back that we can to basically stop the bleeding, to stop Trump. We need a Congress to actually act. And I don't know that that necessarily will be enough, even if we get that power back, but we have to try. And we can't surrender by just playing by the rules. So what I want to encourage people to do is contact their Congress people like, people like J.B. Pritzker, Kathy Hochul in New York, Gavin Newsom here in California. I want you guys to thank them for doing this and let them know that you appreciate them standing up and fighting for the people. But I would offer a constructive criticism. I would suggest that it's really important right now, given the fact that we are at war with the Republicans because they have gone to war with the people. The people need their power back. We need to stack the deck as much as possible. If Republicans want to play this damn game, we need to swamp them with adding seats. So it is basically a statistical impossibility, unless they get up to some really heinous stuff, that they won't be able to win. So whatever the maximum seats are available, they should do that, not just match what they're trying to do in Texas. Like California saying they're going to add 5, they're going to eliminate the 5 Republicans and get Democratic seats with gerrymandering. And again, I don't like gerrymandering, but we don't live in the world that we want to in terms of having independent districting across all the United States. We don't have fair maps. Republicans have the most gerrymandered states that are ridiculously gerrymandered. Texas, I saw some facts on this. There are more Democrats, registered Democrats in Texas than there are Republicans. So Texas should be a purple state, if not a blue state. And again, I don't like the whole red blue divide or how independents are often portrayed, but that's a whole other discussion. So Gavin's saying the California redistricting thing, the gerrymander to match what Texas is doing, is going to be triggered based on Texas going forward with this effort. I don't think we should wait. I think if they make a threat, I think we should take them up on that threat. There's a philosophy when dealing with threats in my line of work. If an individual, student or adult is making threats of self-harm or something, we have to take them all seriously and we have to act accordingly. And I take Republican threats very seriously. So we have to respond in kind, take it seriously, and consider the fact that they probably already have other plans to move it. Gavin has said multiple times now, they're going to do this stuff in other states where they can, because they know that they're in a bad position right now. And there's little scarier than Republicans that are really freaked out about losing power. If there's only one major thing that they care about, and that's gaining power and maintaining power, because they can't win on their ideas. They don't really have much to offer regular people. They want control, and that's why we see them mostly just taking away rights from people, causing people that are to the left of them to get very animated and fight, while they do some other shady stuff over here where they're basically robbing a store or rigging things so they're securing power down the road. I think Republicans should be considered one of the greatest threats to all humanity. That is not to say that these are all powerful people and that they cannot be defeated. I don't think that at all. I just think when they're allowed to have power, they're dangerous. Literally, they're crashing a satellite right now. I don't know what the timeline for this is, but there's a satellite that's been up there for a bit that does a really damn good job of monitoring the carbon dioxide levels around the globe. And they also monitor organics, which is really helpful for farmers, and it offers a lot of useful data. And they're going to crash it into the atmosphere because they don't believe in climate change, and they don't that's kind of Trump's solution to a lot of different things. If you don't like the data, just get rid of the source. During COVID, it was looking like he was doing a piss poor job of managing the spread. So he just said, oh, we'll just stop testing. We'll just stop testing and the numbers will go down. Or they won't grow. What are you, a child? What are you, 2 months old? 6 months old? You don't have the concept of object permanence? The numbers are still going up if you're not managing COVID. They don't just go away because you stop testing. Somebody said, I wish I got to track down this quote, but somebody said something I think is very salient today. The most dangerous thing in the world is people that have high incompetence and maximum power. It's the most dangerous combination. And we have that in spades in this administration. So it's not like they're all powerful. We can make them make mistakes. They are losing their damn minds at these Democrats that broke quorum and at people like Beto O'Rourke who are raising money to, like his Beto O'Rourke's PAC is mostly just about getting out the vote efforts, but it's to make sure that Democrats can stay in the fight in this effort, because Democrats are getting smacked with $500 a day fines for doing something that is within the Texas state constitution. In there, basically, when the majority party does things that are so out of bounds, that are basically illegal or are illegal, they don't fall within the rules. Like them trying to do redistricting and redo census. Like the census is done every 10 years. And we're in like year 5 since the last census. They're trying to do redistricting mid-cycle, which is a big effort. It's expensive and it's not necessary. And we already have problems with the Texas map. It was already very gerrymandered. They're not trying to gerrymander it to fix it. They're trying to gerrymander it to make it worse. Like they're trying to end representation for a lot of minority voters who have a legal right, according to the Voting Rights Act, to have representation, because they have not been represented by Republicans in power. Like a lot of people in Texas are not happy, and they have not been happy with the people that have been representing them, or getting lack of representation. So we need to reward good behavior. So it's good to say, hey, I really appreciate what you're doing. However, I fully endorse the idea of maximizing the number of seats that you can get. And there's a partisan, I think, according to the rules about districting, I think you could just say, well, this is about getting a partisan advantage. The Democrats are demanding, our people are speaking out, and they're really concerned that their voices will be silenced if we don't do this. Democrats need more seats. They should already have more representation than they do, but we have very old laws that appease white supremacists that don't like minorities, that don't like women, that don't like liberal values. They don't like the left in this country. They don't like more than half the country. And the people have spoken. They've gotten a taste of fascism. They don't want any more of it, and we need to fight back. So add the maximum number of seats that you can. And I love the fact that you're doing this on a temporary basis. Like, we're going to do it as long as it's needed, and then we can go back to our redistricting with the independent redistricting, which we agree with. We all got to get together and understand that this is a threat. This is absolutely a threat, and you do not want to see where this goes if they're able to continue the things that they want to do. You do not want to see that. I don't want to be like, I don't want to fearmonger. I think there's things that we could do to fight. And even if they get their way, we still have to fight. We're still going to have to fight our way through it. I was thinking about something earlier today. Folks, we have people in this country that have a living memory of having gone to war, to people that have been deployed to combat, people that have been in dangerous areas of the world, fighting for a cause. Now, we can get into the politics another time of whether those were just causes or not, but that's not the point. We have a voluntary army, right? Military. People sign up and they say, hey, I'll go. Against all odds, I'll go. I did it. I'm not some freaking superhero. I'm not bulletproof. I'm just as vulnerable as any of you. I went to Iraq, 2008, 2009. I did stuff here, cleaning up after some really bad storms in one area. And then I also had to be deployed in Brooklyn, or the Bronx, to back up the MTA. After the London bombings, we're looking for suspicious. We're trying to keep our subways safe, basically, and that's actually one of the most my most nerve-wracking story that I can tell people that I'm not going to get into right now. But people have gone to war against all odds, like just a person up against who knows what, risking their life, and they don't even know if necessarily what they're doing makes any kind of difference, but they do it. They risk their life to stand up for their people. At least that's the idea. They stand up for their country. So this isn't asking you to put your life on the line necessarily. Well, at least not yet. And some of us, they're kind of already in that. People are at risk of being kidnapped and sent wherever for who knows how long, and who knows if they'll make it back. So for some of us, that's already happening. And we have to stop that. We have to stand up for those people. So those of us who are not as vulnerable, those of us like me that can blend in, and especially for people like me, a white male in this country, we have a damn obligation to stand up for our people of color, to stand up for our women, and to maintain our right to use our voice and to use the tools that we are legally allowed to use, right? By our Constitution, by our Bill of Rights, by the law, by international law. We have rights. We have to use them to keep them. And we have been complacent for way too long. We have to change that. We have to. Thank you.